A lot. Well, I personally think most, but I haven't conducted any studies. So let's stick to a lot of Black women suffer from Wendy syndrome. Now, if you don't know what that is, let's see what ChatGPT has to say about Wendy syndrome in a dating setting. It says that Wendy syndrome often transpires as taking responsibility for your partner's life, emotions, or problems, constantly reminding him about appointments, bills, and responsibilities, or in Black women's case, paying for those bills, excusing immature or irresponsible behavior, feeling guilty if you prioritize your own need, believing that love means sacrificing yourself or fixing a partner, choosing partners who are emotionally unavailable or dependent. Now tell me that is not how a lot of Black women date. Okay, let's just use Rihanna as an example, and I'm just using her as an example, you guys. I don't actually have anything against Rihanna. I don't really care for her like that, to be honest. I'm very neutral towards her, contrary to popular belief. I will never forget how I saw her while she was 7 months pregnant, literally begging the judge not to ruin her life. Now, I'm paraphrasing, that's not exactly what she said, but basically, she was begging him not to put ASAP in jail for allegedly, well, I'm saying allegedly, even though there was video proof, but you know, unaliving somebody. And I couldn't help but think at that moment, she kind of did this to herself by choosing this man. Like, and I know the pickings are slim, you guys, especially, you know, if you're a Black woman who is doing well financially, but still, I feel like honestly, you're better off single than choosing some type of man. Like, you're better off single than choosing a dusty, but that is just my personal opinion. But yeah, and then there was also the fact that only 2 days ago, he was busy calling women fine AF. Like, he was at a concert and he knew it was being filmed, you guys. Most of his, you know, public, I guess, representations are. And he called a fan and her friend, y'all are fine as fuck. Or he told her, you're fine as fuck and your friend too, which I thought was very disrespectful towards Rihanna. Like, I don't think that a man who is in a relationship should be out here calling other women than the one he's in a relationship with fine AF. I think that is just very, very rude and uncalled for. Like, and I could go on and on and on. Obviously, the list is endless. I don't know if she's married to this man. I don't think anyone found a public marriage license yet, but you know, they could have gotten married in Barbados. I don't know, y'all. All I know is that sometimes he does refer to her as his wife, but that is, you know, when he doesn't refer to her as his BITCH, so you never know. But fact is, she did have 3 kids with him, and you know, if, or in my opinion, when, because it's inevitable, again, in my opinion, they get separated, she's going to have to pay him a hefty child support check because they live in LA. So even if they didn't get married there, because they live there, you know, their separation, I guess, separation to come, I don't know, is going to have to be handled under the LA's law. But yeah, you guys, I don't want to, you know, talk too much about Rihanna because this video is not about her. Generally, this video is about the fact that a lot of Black women date beneath them. We've seen Mary J. Blige do it. As a matter of fact, Mary J. Blige was left having to pay the child support that her ex owed another woman. I really need for you guys to let that sink in. Imagine having to pay the child support that your man owes another woman. Now, paying spousal support to an ex is already bad. Having to pay him child support is already bad. But I cannot even begin to imagine having to pay the child support that he owes to another woman. We all know what happens with Jill Scott as well. I'm not going to get into that. It really doesn't matter, you guys. I'm using these women because they are famous and all of you all know them. I can tell you about how my cousin got lupus from being married to an ancient man, but that's not going to help you because you don't know my cousin, you know. So they're just being used as example, but I think that it's not really as interesting as getting into why I think that a lot of Black women suffer from Wendy syndrome. I think that a lot of us are raised to be everything to everybody. Okay, like we are raised to put ourselves last because a lot of us come from fatherlessness. We know that fatherlessness is a big issue in the community. I think it is 77% of Black children that grew up without a father, and I really think that that has done a number on us. As a matter of fact, I know it has. I mean, there are a lot of studies about how growing up without a father is going to affect you as a woman, like the way you date, who you choose, and you know, there's a reason why they talk about daddy issues, and you know, it's also even affect men, you know, like men who grew up without a father don't really know how to be a man for a lot of time. And, you know, we know that a lot of men have mommy issues as well, but that's neither here nor there. Let's stick to why I think a lot of Black women suffer from Wendy syndrome. Sorry, I have ADHD. But yeah, I think that is an issue. First of all, the fatherlessness. I think another thing that is an issue is how a lot of Black women are parentified. Like a lot of Black women were parentified as girls. You know, they come from homes where their mom had 3, 4 kids by different men, or perhaps by the same man who didn't, you know, stand up and isn't taking care of the kids. So he left and their mom was left, you know, with the kids. So the firstborn, if she's a girl, is left having to take care of her siblings and basically be their mom. Like I see Black women on TikTok talking all the time about why they don't want to have kids because they were a mom already when they were 8 years old. Okay, they already took care and raised their siblings, right? So that is an issue. Something else that is an issue, in my opinion, is how Black girls are treated different than Black boys. Like I feel like a lot of women who have kids, you know, some girls, some boys, end up treating the boys differently than the girls. Like, you know, they're like boy moms even though they have girls as well. So the girls end up being responsible for the boys. You know, the girls are treated very strictly. You know, they have to do the chores, they have to do this, that, and the third. When the boys get to do nothing, like they get to just play around, right? I feel like a lot of moms who have boys and girls like give preferential treatment to their boys at the detriment of their girls. And last but not least, I also think another thing that caused a lot of Black women to end up with Wendy syndrome is how a lot of Black women are not loved unconditionally as children. Like I feel like for a lot of Black women, the love come, or you know, the appreciation or the attention comes as a child when you help out in the home, right? I feel like a lot of girls only get recognitions when they help their moms with either against the chores, cooking for their siblings, taking care of their siblings, or when they bring very, very good grades at home, right? We know that a lot of Black women tend to be overachievers because of this, right? Because as kids, the only way they will get, you know, attention and affection from their moms or from their parents is when they brought good grades at home. And generally, you know, we know that a lot of Black kids receive positive reinforcement when they are being like very quiet, right? When they are almost not being seen, right? What I'm trying to say here, poorly, admittedly, LOL, is that a lot of older Black women grew up to be seen but not heard. It's like the way that we hush them in churches, right? A lot of Black kids are like in churches and don't, shh, you know, be harsh, like basically behave as if you were not here, because you know your behavior or you behaving, talking, playing, laughing, doing what kids do is a nuisance. And I feel like all of that, all of those reasons, you know, are the reason why a lot of Black women grow up to have, you know, Wendy syndrome. Because, you know, it's not only celebrity Black women, contrary to popular belief. Again, those are the only ones that I can talk about because, you know, y'all know them. So I could talk about Keke Palmer and how, you know, she procreated with that man who I guess is in the military now. I don't know, you know. And we've seen Keke live. Like we've seen Steve Harvey tell her live that you cannot only care about love, right? He, as a man, as somebody who know men, was telling her, you cannot enter the dating world only caring about, you know, being loved. And she was still pushing back and saying like, no, you know, it's okay, all I want is to be loved, right? She's still saying that to this day. Like I heard her say it on her podcast the other day, you know, even after the debacle with her baby daddy, you know, where DV was allegedly, I mean, there's a video of it, right, an issue. Even after all of that, she's still saying all she cares about is being loved, right? You guys, it's ridiculous. And again, it's not only celebrities, like a lot of everyday regular schmegular degular women date down. And you know, all of us are not going to be able to date millionaires. I talk about this all the time. There are not enough of those to go around, but you should aim to at least date on your level, ladies. If you can't date up, please make sure you at least date on your level. Okay, don't date men that have less than you. Don't date men that are beneath you. You will regret it every single time. They will make you pay for choosing them every single time, because deep down inside they know they don't deserve you. Deep down inside they know you are better than them. So if you choose them, they will make you regret it every single time, you guys. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I will never forget reading a viral story of a black woman who went to Howard University, you guys, and who was dating a jailbird, you guys. A jailbird. I mean, come on, do better, you know. And he ended up unaliving her or something like that, which is crazy. Like, why would you, as somebody who worked your behind off to get to Howard University, work hard to get your degree, why would you then downgrade to date someone who is a jailbird, someone who was in jail? It's crazy, y'all, but it happens every day. A lot of black women tend to date down, and in my opinion, it's because they suffer from Wendy syndrome. I don't know what else to say about this subject. Then we need to do better, you know, as a collective. Please, ladies, let's do better. I know that it's hard because a lot of us, again, don't come from the healthiest homes. You know, a lot of us come from toxic environment, and you know, contrary to popular belief, like attract likes. You know, it doesn't always need to be taken in the first sense of the sentence. Like, when I say light attract light, I mean, like, even if you elevate socially, even if you build your $1 million business, even if you go to university and get your degree and become an MD or lawyer or engineer, like, a lot of people who done that still go back to date people who we think from the first glance would say they're beneath them, like these people have nothing in common, but really they have a lot in common, because the men usually also come from a background that's just as toxic as the girl, and that is what they bound to, you know. That is what is attracting the woman, because this is like itching a wound that she had in childhood that she didn't heal. Reason why therapy is so important. So this is why sometimes you will see black women who are seemingly very classy and doing very well date hood men, because they come from the hood. Like, you can take someone out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. So please pay attention to all of that if you are a well-to-do black woman who is going to enter the dating scene.
Forgot to mention that some black women date down on purpose. Yes, they do it intentionally for control. These are often black women who suffer from abandonment issues. So they think that by dating a man that has a lot less than them, they are going to be able to control him. They think he's not going to leave because they have all the money. So they choose black men or men in general that have a lot less than they do on purpose. You are going to see that some black women even have a trail of dating like that. You know, they date over and over and over again. They will choose men that have a lot less than they do, and again, it's because they enjoy that dynamic, and they think because they bring so much to the table, I mean the financial table, of course, the man is not going to cheat on them or have outside babies on them or leave them, which more time than not they're mistaken about. By the way, I have seen men who are being taken care of by a woman still cheat. As a matter of fact, they will use the money that you have given them access to buy gifts for their girlfriend so that they can feel like a man. I mean, we've seen the husband of Wendy Williams do it. I mean, didn't he get his girlfriend an engagement ring worth millions of dollars with Wendy's money or something like that? And also allegedly he would also fly her in, like every time that him and Wendy would take holidays, he would make sure that she's also around. Like he would get her plane ticket, first class, of course, and you know, let her stay in the best, nicest 5 stars hotel close to them, so that you know, once in a while he could sneak out and leave Wendy alone and go and be with his girlfriend. Anyways, you guys, that's something that happens as well.
If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know, ladies, what do you think about the fact that I think that most black women suffer from the Wendy syndrome? Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you guys as always tomorrow. Bye, girls. Thanks for watching. Mwah.